starts, you hear the song that says, Andre isn't here. Well, I'm sorry to say Pierre isn't here either. Josh Groban, as Stokes mentioned, had a charity event that he's sponsoring, so that's where he is. Lucas Hedges of Yen isn't here either. He was going to be. He had to fly to Toronto, and he was going to fly back, but unfortunately, he booked a flight on United Airlines, and they took him right off. You really can't blame United, though. I mean, the passengers and the flight attendants got nervous when they heard him talking about Garth Drabinsky being his friend. So they're not here. However, we can move on, and we can talk about someone else entirely. And that is the thrill you get when you go to the theater and you see an actor, and for 15 minutes you don't recognize who he is. And not until a certain moment you say, wait a minute, that looks just like, oh my God, that's so-and-so. I can't believe it. Wow. And that's what happened to me this year when I saw The Little Foxes. Because, sure, I'd seen him play Edna in Hairspray. I saw him play in The Pajama Game, where he played Heinze, and in All the Way, where he played J. Edgar Hoover. And all things considered, I still didn't recognize him as many times as I've seen him in all those wonderful movies by Christopher Guest. So he really faked me out. And that's what a real actor can do, turn into somebody completely different. And that's Michael Mckean.
Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. Just for a little more about me, I received my Theatre World Award in 1990 for a play called Accomplice, and really, thank you. But top ticket was about $21, something like that. But Mr. Willis was still alive, and he specifically asked us not to share a little story, so I didn't. But I would like to reiterate what I did say that night, and that was, I said, thanks to my father, who took me to see Stanley Holloway when I was 12 years old. He had a one-man show here on Broadway somewhere. And it was the first time I figured out that you can go for a job, you can go stand here, and all these chairs face you. And all you have to do is make them happy. And I thought, they pay you for that too? And so that was the night I made up my mind to do something like this. And anyway, that was my little speech then and now. I love working on Broadway. I love doing what I'm doing right now, growing facial hair for public consumption, as well as my own on a windy day. The only drawback to working on Broadway is you don't get to see any Broadway. You have the same schedule as everybody else. One of the shows that it pains me most to have missed all this time, and thank God it's going to be running for a while, so I'll be back, is the one that's appearing on this stage. When they asked me to present this award, I said, man, I gotta say, I gotta confess to some ignorance here. I've not seen the show, I don't know the show. They say, we'll get you a CD. So they got me a CD, a beautiful souvenir book, and I've been immersed in this, and it's awesome. You probably have most of you have seen it, I'm sure. And yeah, it's kind of a thrill just being up here. Condon and Green used to have a sketch where they made people laugh by asking them to imagine a musical version of War and Peace. Well, who's got the last laugh now? There is a man whose name is all over this work, and attention should be paid, ladies and gentlemen, to the creator, one of the main creators of this amazing play. And I would like to introduce you to a man you've already met in a way. And please help me welcome him and present him with his Theatre World Award, Mr. Dave Malloy.
It's that guy. I love that guy. Thank you so much for this incredible honor, and to have this honor happening in this theater is double mind trip. But thank you hugely to the Theater World Awards, and to our amazing cast, our amazing designers, our crew, our incredible producers, from Ars Nova to Howard and Janet Kagan to Paul Murray Black and ART, all those people. And then lastly, I wanted to thank two people. So apparently I'm winning this award because this show was my Broadway debut actually in 5 things. So I was the composer, the lyricist, the book writer, the orchestrator, and about a month ago I had the pleasure of actually performing in this piece on Broadway. And so I've been like a huge multitasker on this show, like ever since the show kind of began 6 years ago. And I just want to thank 2 women in particular who have endured my multitasking. The first is my wife, who frequently, when I should be, being with my wife, my mind is thinking about the show, and vice versa. So that multitasking is a challenging thing. And then the other person I want to thank hugely is my incredible director, Rachel Chavkin, who is dealing with that. Yes, please. And there were so many times when we were first rehearsing this piece where she was trying to get me to act. And I'd be like, but why did the writer give me this terrible line to say? Or she'd be trying to get me to act, and I'd be like, but the oboe line is horrendous. So that multitasking was very much kind of baked into this piece. And then the last thing I wanted to say about all that is, so when I did make my debut performing as Pierre, I had the most intense multitasking moment of my life. Pierre is an incredibly depressed person, and he goes through much of Act 1 just lamenting how lost he is and how he doesn't feel included in society, and he feels very isolated and alone, and he nearly tries to kill himself in the end of Act 1. And so it's a dark role, it's a dark journey to be going on. But simultaneously, as I was going on this character arc, I was having my own Dave Malloy arc of like, this is great! So fun! And especially like seeing all my comic family on stage with me and be like, oh, that's Britton, we make eye contact here, and that's Kelsey, and that's Amber and Lucas, and all these incredible people. And then larger than that, seeing like all this incredible audience that was inviting me in and like inviting me into that family. And then on top of all that, just being included into this greater Broadway community in general. For me, like, coming from my super weird musical roots to suddenly being in a show that was, as being as recognized as it is, it's just super, super overwhelming. And so I was literally feeling the exact opposite of everything Pierre that was actually feeling. But what I learned as an actor is that I could just take the intensity of that feeling and then just shove it back at the audience. So I was just like, get away! I don't deserve it! So, this is what was going on in my head at that time. But the most beautiful moment for me was so finally at the end of the show, Pierre does, have a moment of enlightenment of some kind, and he sees the comet come down from the sky, and he's standing right there. And all through the show, I had noticed that my wife was sitting right there. And at one point earlier in the show, we had, made some eye contact during a lighter moment in the show. But when we got to that final moment, and I sat down to watch the comet lighting up, I felt at my side just a little hand, and I was like, Pierre wouldn't do this, but Dave Malloy would. And so I grabbed my wife's hand, and we kind of watched the comet glow together. And that comet has come to represent, both Pierre and then Pierre's family, and then Comet and Comet's family, and again this family of this greater Broadway community. So thank you again so much to Theater World Awards for introducing us.